Hi, this is Alan with 4A's Racing Loft. I made a decision about a month ago to get back into racing pigeons. I happened to be driving home and I was at an intersection and I saw some pigeons routing. I had called two people I knew, Ray and Jean, and asked them if they had any idea whose birds that was, which was Frank's. So Frank, thank you very much for motivating me to get back into the sport after about 7 years out of it. I flew in a club, Georgetown, Texas, for about, oh my goodness, I'm gonna say 5 to 6 years, from 2010 through 2015. I did fly some one loft races, have done well. We were also in a combine with Waco, Belton, and Austin at the time. Won a lot of club races, top birds, won some combine races. Now I'm curious. I guess I'm gonna have to go back and pull up some AU records and see actually how I compared to others during that time. I went under a different loft name at the time. It was Baby Boy's Loft. So I will go back and do another video later talking about some results from way back then. But it's a sport that I miss. I definitely enjoyed the peace that it brought and the happiness that I experienced when seeing your birds come back from 150 miles up to 550 miles on a race, especially when you are competing extremely well with others. There's tough competition in Austin, Texas, along with Belton and Waco. So there's great competitors all over this region in Central Texas. So with that all being said, after talking to Jean and Ray, it caused me to invest some money back into building a racing loft. With the cost of supplies and goods right now, it can be a little taxing, more than what I actually thought it would be. But working with someone who's built lofts in the past, Jean is really helping me put this together, along with one of my other neighbors, Scott, who did a little help with me. So just trying to get it done. It's a great sport. You will find that people in this sport will help each other be successful. Sorry for the goats. As you can see, I also have Kinko goats, and you see a couple of babies there just playing around, so forgive the additional noise. But we started probably a little bit more than a week. I'll take you on a little tour of the loft and what we have done to this point. So if you can see, forgive the work site. I know it's dirty, so I get that. It's probably about 2.5 to 3.5 feet off the ground, depending at what point that you're looking at. This is the front end that's facing north. I'm sorry, not north, facing east. And the part that you don't see covered with the hardy board or hardy plank is actually going to be an aviary, so I'm going to screen all that in. At the top is a pony wall, but in the center, I'm not sure if it shows up well, is plexiglass, which is actually going to allow more light into the loft. And to the left and right of the plexiglass is probably about 4 feet, which will have hardy plank. I'm actually going to do a lean-to roof, which will probably be a little easy to build. You can look on the side here. You can see expanded middle on the floor, which will allow great circulation. It's about 12 feet wide, 24 feet long. The back wall is right at 8 feet, and including the pony wall, it's probably going to go up another 2 feet, so you're going to have an angle so the water will slope off to the back. Over here, I'm going to say it's a little higher than 2.5 feet off the ground. And then on the back side, as you can see, is 24 feet long. I actually went with 12-foot long hardy planks 12 inches wide, 5/16 thick, but try to make it easier to build. You can see the trusses on top. The backside is actually facing the west. I do know there's some more work. We'll cut some hardy plank to cover that plate at the top. And then here you're really looking at the northwest side of the loft. You can see the pony wall also at the top. So look, there's still some work to be done. Probably another week or two out from finishing it. Get the work done when I can, after work or before work or on weekends. My son actually plays basketball, so I help coach the team, so always busy. But you know, I'm really excited to have this opportunity to get back in a sport again. I'm very grateful to a few of Flyers in Austin, possibly also Georgetown, that are willing to give me birds to start off with, so I don't have to go out and try to source birds. I'm looking to fly this fall in young birds. Old bird season is going on right now. If time permits and everyone's okay, maybe I'll go film a couple of days, maybe one in Georgetown and one in Austin, of them actually putting the birds in a clock, putting them in crates and getting them shipped out. So more to come as we keep making progress. I'll update y'all throughout this process, but you know, I'm excited to be able to get back into the sport. Just trying the most efficient, cost-efficient, easy way to build a new racing loft. You know, if you look at the joist up top, you know, it's expanding 12 feet. So try to keep it within certain board lengths, so I'm not wasting a lot of materials. On the floor underneath, I went by 2x8s around the sides and a majority underneath. I do have some 2x6s, only because all the 2x8s were not very straight. So try to work it in, but the plate on the exterior, which you cannot see, that lower plate all the way around, is actually 2x8. So I'm trying to make it as strong as I can, expanding 12 feet. Most likely I'm going to have a walkway down the center, so a 3-foot walkway, 4.5 depth, holding pins, and possibly 3 on each side, 6 to 8 feet wide. Haven't determined that. On this far end over here, what I'm probably going to do is build in a couple of breeding pens. I don't know if I'm going to do them 3 foot wide and 7.5 feet tall roughly, or will I do 3.5 feet tall and build 2, one on top of each other with a tray in between. I got to find a way to build aviary in for each individual pen. I think it's very key that you actually have an area, even though that you're breeding, that your birds can get out into the air. I think it really supports their health